My name is Kathleen Anglo, and I've had the privilege of being the project manager for this project under the tutelage of my manager, Jody Martinez. I know she's out here somewhere. There she is. It's so great to see so many of you here today. This has been a long process, and I'm so glad that you were all able to make it. I'd like to introduce your council member, Amy Brenmoen.
Hello, everybody. My name is Amy Brenmoen. I want to welcome you to St. Paul and to Ward 5. There's nothing I think that's more lovely than Great River Greening deciding to celebrate their 20th anniversary birthday by restoring this Trout Brook Nature Sanctuary. It's a wonderful doubling up of opening this facility and also celebrating a 20th anniversary. Thanks to all the volunteers who were out this morning working hard to beautify this site. I was asked to speak this morning and to share some thoughts, and I'm honored by that, but I also think that in my business a lot of people do a lot of talking. And so if you wouldn't mind indulging me, what I'd like to do is just take a moment to do a little bit of listening. And so if you will, I'd ask you to join me in closing your eyes and just listening to the Trout Brook Nature Sanctuary for just a few moments. And as you're listening, maybe you heard the sound of a Highway 35. But also and there was a possibility that while we were listening, we might have heard a train. But I'm also hoping that you also heard the sounds of the peepers and the sounds of the birds and the sounds of the wind going through the trees and the grasses. That is the sound of a park in an urban setting. And we know how important it is for us to be in nature. It helps with our well-being, it helps make us better people, it increases our property values, it makes our city more livable. This is an incredible addition to the city of St. Paul, and it didn't happen without a lot of partners, and we're going to hear today from Linda and Jeff from our community, Janice Retman, Joe Collins, Deborah, Mike from the Department of Parks and Recreation, and there's so many more partners that made this happen. So with full gratitude, I'm excited to hear from different perspectives of how we got here today and have this beautiful symphony behind us as a backdrop. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
The reason we're all here today can best be summed up with a quote by Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And these are some of the people who initiated the change that resulted in the Trout Brook Nature Sanctuary. Tri-Area Block Club. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge our former state rep, Tom Ostoff, who supported us and the project from the beginning and was instrumental to our success. Hey, Tom. Thank you to all of you who believed in our vision. Now Jeff Martins, thank you. Now Jeff Martins from the District 6 Land Use Task Force and Tri-Area Block Club member will say a few words.
Very few. Hey, is this cool or what? I'd like to thank all the people from Capital Region. They were a huge help. HR Green, I'm sorry, my glasses sound bright. Peterson Construction, the volunteer planters, and the park maintenance crew for completing the final phase of this urban jewel. But we really want to thank Kathleen Anglo. You know, Kathleen took a beating more than once on this, and she's going to have to come up here because here you go, an honest to God Trillium t-shirt. And since you're part of the North End now, whether you like it or not, a District 6 t-shirt.
Thank you.
And this is the part I like. I'm grabbing a hug.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank everybody for everything you did to make this happen.
Our next speaker has been a strong ally since early on in the process, first as our city council person and now as our county commissioner. To those who know her, she needs no further introduction other than Janice.
Isn't she a spark plug? She really is. Linda deserves a lot of credit. I'm going to speak from my heart because Tri-Area Block Club, North End neighborhood, this is your moment. Totally. The odyssey you began 23 years ago to reclaim the history of the Trillium. I've got one of the shirts. It says, reclaim the history of the Trillium and the Trout Brook, of your great, great, great grandparents and relatives and community who worked hard building and working on the roads, the rails, and the steel, and came home tuckered. I could not admire, enjoy, or thank you enough for letting me be a very small part of your vision, your original vision, to daylight the stream and have a place where bees and butterflies, bats and birds and people of all ages and little toads can enjoy. I saw your dogged determination to fight for this property, this land, and watch the train go by. But I saw your determination to fight for this piece of land, now called the Trout Brook Nature Sanctuary, and your devotion to the beloved North End neighborhood. You gave your heart, you gave your soul, and this is all yours. This is now your legacy. So I dedicate this moment that I have to the Tri-Area Block Club founders, Linda, John, Wally, Jeff, Leanne, Jean, Dick, Jackie, Chuck, Nat, Karen, Cheryl, Bruce, Carol, Eddie, John, Val, Jean, Brian, Elaine, Liz, Lillian, Gail, June, Pam, Sis, and Tom. And our dearest Verna, she's up there with the rest of the Tri-Area folks, and somehow she interceded on our behalf to have this beautiful day, because that means she's smiling and she's got Tri-Area Block Club 2 going good for us. Thank you so much, and I am glad to be here.
First of all, I want to say thank you for everyone for coming, but I've been around for a long time, and I remember this property. And about 20 years ago, Tri-Area Block Club and Linda came and said, we deserve more. This property was an old railroad site. There were industries that wanted to come in and not make the neighborhood any better and make it worse. And Linda kept saying, and Tri-Area Block Club, we deserve more. This is not a dumping ground. And so my first statement is thank you to Tri-Area Block Club, thank you to Linda, because it was with your passion that things change. Projects take a long time, and you can look at a project and you think you need the smart people. We got Bob Fossum over there and Kathleen and Mark Dornay. They figured out how to get the water on the site and how to get the planting. You need the volunteers to do the planting, and then you needed people to open up their wallets. And then we have Tom Ostoff and Janice Redman a long time ago. And a long time ago, back in '97, when the Tri-Area Block Club and Linda was saying you needed more, she came to Janice Redman. Janice said, talk to Tom Ostoff, and if anybody could give a headache to the bureaucrats, was Linda, Tom Ostoff, and Janice all at the same time. So certain things happened, but then once the money came in, you still had a vacant piece of property, and there's all the legal, technical things you have to do to figure out who owns the land and how do you get the easements and everything like that. So that moves along, and it still takes time. And it still came down to you kept saying we deserve more. And when Tri-Area Block Club and Linda was saying we want a sanctuary, I'm like, well, what's that? You know, and it was still the ability to say we want more, we deserve more. We know where we live, we know who we are, but we deserve more. And the ability, so then you go back to the smart people and say, try to figure out how to get water to daylight some of Trout Brook, which was the original creek. And then we still needed some more money, that's why you come to capital regions. And then we also had the Port Authority helping. So overall, we had a lot of people doing great things, but it really comes down to the passion and the dedication of Tri-Area Block Club and Linda. Thank you.
My name is Deborah Karasava. I'm Director of Great River Greening. And we are so honored to be a partner in this amazing project. The mission of Great River Greening is to inspire and engage communities across Minnesota to care for the land and water that enrich our lives. And as you've heard from the speakers today, this is a tremendous moment for the people who helped to create this very special sanctuary. But it's also a story for everyone in Minnesota. And what I hope with this story of hope and promise, that it will inspire others in Minnesota as well to take a role in their community, improving the parks and waters that do enrich our lives. As Amy mentioned, we are celebrating today 20 years of working with communities to restore land and water. And the city turned to us to engage now the community in this park and to use our unique engagement and educational programs to bring people to learn from this park. Already we've engaged 600 people, including 200 this morning that helped to do planting, and hundreds of kids through our Field Learning for Teens program to learn about the science and engineering that is behind the restoration in this park. So it's really celebrating our 20 years with special ceremony that I share the proverb we like to say at Great River Greening, which is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. And so again, I do hope that you will join us and inspire your neighbors, inspire other communities to do create and improve the parks and improve our natural heritage that we pass on to our children. Thank you very much. And now with some ceremony, I want to introduce a very remarkable person, Mike Hom, Director of Parks and Rec. We are at Great River Greening very excited to be partnering with St. Paul at many parks in St. Paul, including Victoria Park and historically Mounds Park and Crosby. And the Parks and Recreation staff and leadership is really a very important treasure for the city. Mike?
Thank you, Deborah. What a great project. If you missed this last week, I want to take just a moment to appreciating knowledge that our community, the City of St. Paul, was recognized last week by the Trust for Public Land as the #1 parks system in all of the United States. So how about that? That recognition is possible only because we have the best, we have the best partners. You heard from them today. Great River Greening, the Cap Region Watershed District, the community on the north end, the Tri-Area Block Club, our federal, state, county partners that invest in these facilities in our community. Our park system, the use of it, its importance to our community would not be possible without those partners. Thank you so much. It also would not be possible without the community that supports these projects and uses our system. What a great turnout here today to open this great facility. And without any further ado, I'm going to call on our great staff, Kathleen Anglo, who made this project possible, to help us stretch a ribbon over here, get all of our speakers to come forward with the big giant scissors. And I want to invite all the community up I'm inviting all of the community to get up out of your chairs and move forward up to this ribbon so when we count down, we can officially open this park. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. enjoy Trout Brook Nature Sanctuary.